We are starting today. This is our third lecture. This is our third lecture for linear transformation. These are the exercises yesterday we have seen. Anybody got these answers? Yes. Anybody got the answer of the exercises?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you send me the answers on my WhatsApp number. Okay. Send the pictures of the answers, and if you're not getting any answer, you're stuck somewhere, you got half correct answer, or if you're not getting the answer, please ask me on the WhatsApp number. I'll help you out, or we will help everybody to get the answers. Okay. So we need to understand this chapter thoroughly as we do in the college. Okay. This should not be the hurdle for us, this situation. Okay. So anybody got the answer of the exercise number 6? Exercise number 6. Anybody got the answer?
Yes, sir.
It's not linear transformation.
Yes, exercise number 6 is not a linear transformation. Yes, absolutely correct. So remember that every map is not a linear transformation. It is a linear transformation provided it should satisfy some conditions. So those conditions previously we understood in the lecture 1 and lecture 2. So now we are moving ahead to understand some more theorems in it. Okay, let us see which theorems we have. So this is the first theorem, today's first theorem. What it says, if I have two vector spaces V and W, and there are two maps, T1 from V to W, also T2 from V to W, two linear transformations, then their addition T1 plus T2 from V to W is also linear transformation. Okay, the definition of this mapping T1 plus T2 is T1 plus T2 applied on vector is equal to, it gets splits. Okay, this is the definition of this addition map, T1 of x plus T2 of x. So let us prove that this map is a linear transformation. So what we will do is we'll apply the theorem, yesterday's theorem. So remember that whenever we are applying theorem, so we have to specify the definition of that theorem. We have to provide that statement of that theorem. Okay, and whenever in the exercises we are saying this is by this theorem, so we have to write down that statement of that theorem. Now here also in this next theorem we are using the previous theorem, so that statement has to be included as a part of proof in this theorem. Okay, so what it says, what is the given data? T1 and T2 are two linear transformations, and what is to be put, T1 plus T2 is also linear transformation. So as the requirement in the previous proof, we need two vectors, we need two scalars. So let x and y, to get on the screen, let x and y belongs to the domain and alpha beta belongs to our scalars. Now consider the map is T1 plus T2 applied on the linear combination of these two vectors. Okay, alpha x plus beta y. Now the definition of this map is what? The definition of this map is it gets splits. This is what the definition is. So T1 of alpha x plus beta y plus T2 of alpha x plus beta y. Now since T1 and T2 they both itself are linear transformation, they apply the theorem. Okay, they follow that theorem, yesterday's theorem. Okay, so T1 it will get split, T2 also will get split, giving out the scalars. So alpha times, it is alpha times T1x plus beta times T1x, because T1 is the linear transformation. Similarly, alpha times T2x plus beta times T2y. Okay, because T2 is also linear transformation. So further what we do is we'll take alpha alpha together, we'll take beta beta together. Okay, we'll take alpha alpha together, we'll take beta beta together. So if I take alpha together, then what I will get in the bracket, it will be T1 of x plus t2 of x plus, if I take beta common, I'll get t1 of y plus t2 of y. Okay, but now t1 of x plus t2 of x, if you see the definition of t1 plus t2, this is exactly similar to t1 plus t2 of x. Similarly, t1 of y plus t2 of y, if you see the addition of t1 plus t2, this is exactly similar to t1 plus t2 of y. Okay, so what we got here is t1 plus t2 applied on the linear combination, all the scalars are coming out and it is getting split. Okay, so means what? This is exactly the similar the statement of the theorem what we did yesterday. So therefore, by the theorem, so you have to write down the statement of the theorem here. Okay, complete statement. So by theorem, t1 plus t2 is a linear transformation. Okay, all of you got it. This theorem is also kind of important for us. All of you understood this theorem? Yes, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you copied this theorem, or you can copy down this later on when I'll upload this on the YouTube channel. Okay, you write down this theorem proof, theorem statement and proof in your notebook while I'll upload this in the YouTube channel. Okay. So next theorem. So next theorem is the scalar multiplication of a linear transformation. First, we have seen the addition of two linear transformations. The second theorem is scalar multiplication of the linear transformation. So what is the statement again here? So let V and W are two real vector spaces. Remember that this V and W are capital. Okay, they are not small letters. They are spaces. So they has to be capital letters. So let V and W be two real vector spaces, and T from V to W is a linear transformation. Then for any scalar alpha, alpha belongs to R. Alpha of T, this is a function. Alpha of T, it is from V to W, defined as alpha T of X is equal to alpha dot Tx. This is also a linear transformation. Okay, means what we have to prove that this definition is also linear transformation, means it should satisfy the either definition 1 or it should satisfy either definition 2, that is our theorem. Okay, so what, how to write down the proof? Proof starts with the given thing. Okay, so given that T from V to W is a linear transformation and alpha belongs to R, this is our given data. And to prove that alpha of T is a linear transformation. Okay, so let two vectors in the domain and two scalars in the real numbers. So consider x and y are our vectors. So consider alpha T of lambda x plus mu y. I have taken lambda and mu are scalars. Okay, here in the case of alpha beta, because alpha is already used, so we have taken lambda and mu. So alpha T of lambda x plus mu y. So apply the definition of alpha T on this vector. So the definition of alpha T is this: everything is equal to alpha multiplied by T of the vector. So that is equal to alpha multiplied by T of lambda x plus mu y. Okay, now since T is given to be linear transformation, it will satisfy the conditions of theorem number our yesterday's theorem. Okay, so that this will get split, all the scalars will come outside. So that is alpha multiplied by lambda tx plus mu ty. Okay, now since we are in the world of vector spaces, this alpha will get distributed over everything coming inside this bracket. Okay, so that is alpha multiplied by the first component plus alpha multiplied by the second component. Okay, now further I can switch the places of alpha and mu, alpha and lambda, alpha and mu, because they are scalars. So lambda multiplied by alpha T of x plus mu multiplied by alpha T of y. Okay, now alpha tx by definition of this alpha t mapping, this is same as alpha t of x. Okay, similarly alpha t of y, this is same as alpha t of y. Now what we got here, alpha t of lambda x plus mu y equal to lambda times alpha t of x plus mu times alpha t of y. So therefore by theorem, so you have to write down the statement of the theorem, alpha t becomes a linear transformation. Okay, all of you? Any, all of you understood this theorem? Yes, everyone? Okay, third theorem. See, the first theorem, today's first theorem, we have seen addition of two linear transformation is again a linear transformation. Second theorem was scalar multiplication of a linear transformation is again a linear transformation. This is the third theorem. It says that composition of two linear transformation is again a linear transformation. Okay, so this all three theorems, they all are important for us. Okay, so keep this in your mind. So the statement of this third theorem, what it says, U, V, and W be three real vector spaces, and T from V to U. Okay, look at the mapping. T is from V to U, S is from U to W are two linear transformations. Okay, then the composition mapping, the composition map will start from where to where? The composition S compose T, it will start from the domain of T, it will end on the codomain of S. Okay, all of you understand this, right? In the semester 1 we studied this. So S compose T is a function from V to W, and what we have to, what we have to do is we have to prove that this S compose T is also a linear transformation. Okay, so how to write in the proof? So what is the given? Given that T from V to U, S from U to W are linear transformations, and what is to be proved? To prove that S compose T from V to W is a linear transformation. Okay, so starts with usual strategy. Take two vectors x and y and two scalars alpha beta. Okay, and consider whichever map you have to prove linear transformation, consider that map. S compose T here, S compose T of linear combination alpha x plus beta y. Okay, apply the definition of a linear this composition function, that is same as S of T of alpha x plus beta y. Okay, now inside this T itself is a linear transformation. This T itself is a linear transformation. So this is same as T of alpha times T of x plus beta times T of y in the bracket itself. Okay, because T is a linear transformation. So that is further equal to, now apply S on this everything. So that is equal to, since S is also linear transformation, this is this S of this everything is a kind of alpha times some vector plus beta times some another vector. So we are applying here, in fact, the theorem number 1, the yesterday's theorem. Here first we applied on the T, and now here we are applying on the S. Okay, so this is further equal to alpha times S of T of x plus beta times S of T of y. Now this S of T of x is, we are writing this as S compose T of vector x plus beta of S compose T of y. That is S compose T of alpha x plus beta y equal to alpha and beta, they coming outside and S compose T is getting split. So that is alpha time S compose T of X plus beta time S compose T of Y. So therefore, by our theorem, you have to write down the statement of that theorem. S compose T is a linear transformation. Okay. So all of you write down the proof. You understood this proof?
Yes, sir.
Okay, copy down this. Okay, so I think so people has written the answer, this proof of this thing. So what we will do is, now I want people to show me the answers. Okay, what is the answer of this exercises? Okay, anybody got the answer of the third exercise?
भैया
Anybody got answer of the third exercise? See, if you want to ask me question, you can unmute yourself and ask me the question. Okay, but keep it on the mute. Okay, people should not hear any noise from your side. Okay, this is a lecture, remember. So what I'm asking you, I want to see that people, you all got the answer of these four exercises. So third exercise, anyone got the answer? Anyone got the answer of the third exercise?
Yes, sir.
So start solving then. Otherwise, people, those who not got the answer, start solving this third exercise. You will try on third exercise, everyone. Third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. So six is not a linear transformation. Somebody said rightly, that is a correct thing. Third is not a linear transformation. But why it is not linear transformation? That also you have to answer correctly. Okay, so got the answer of the third exercise. How to write down the answer of the third exercise? It's a map.
कल हम लोग के इधर बहुत बड़ा पीक भी हो गया झगड़ा बैठने के लिए राजेश राजेश मसाला वाले बेटे क्या बोल रहा बैठने के लिए नहीं बोलता तो भी बैठते हैं इसके लिए क्या बोला इसका बोला मारता भी राजेश ज्यादा बोला नहीं जा रहा चलेगा इसका
Okay, so see the third exercise. It is t of xy equal to 2x plus 3y, comma 3x minus 4y. Okay, and we have to show that this third exercise we are solving. Okay, we have to show that this is a linear transformation. So we are using theorem here to verify this is a linear transformation. So what we will do is I'll give you the hint, you know. So we'll take two vectors. So let x equal to x1 y1, y equal to x2 y2, and alpha beta belongs to R. Okay. So take two vectors. Look at here, x and y, capital X and capital Y, and alpha beta. So we have taken two vector and two scalars, and now consider. So this is the way you are going to write down in the exam. Okay. So t of alpha times x plus beta times y, that is equal to t of alpha times x plus beta times y. This is what we have to consider. Okay. So now substituting the alpha x and x, capital X and capital Y inside this. So that is t of alpha times x1 y1 plus beta times x2 y2. Okay, that is equal to t of multiply alpha and beta inside. So alpha x1 plus beta x2, alpha y1 plus beta y2. Okay, see this what I did. Okay, now apply t on alpha x1 plus beta x2 comma alpha y1 plus beta y2. Apply t on it. The definition of t is given in the question, so apply on that. So the first component that everything is our x, and the second component that everything is our y. So apply the definition of t over it. So that is further equal to 2 times x, matlab alpha x1 plus beta x2 plus 3 times alpha y1 plus beta y2, comma second component 3 times alpha x1 plus beta x2 minus 4 times alpha y1 plus beta y2. Can you see that what I did? We just apply the definition of t. Okay, now simplify this further. So that is further equal to, see what is to be done here is we have to take alpha outside and beta outside. Okay, so that is further, this is equal to 2 times alpha x1 plus 2 times beta x2 plus 3 times alpha y1 plus 3 times beta y2, comma 3 times alpha x1 plus 3 times beta x2 minus 4 times alpha y1 plus minus, in fact, minus 4 times beta y2. Okay, so look at here, we just multiplied everything inside. Okay, just multiplied everything inside. Now further, what is to be done? What we will do is we'll take alpha alpha together and beta beta together. So that is equal to we'll change the positions of scalars. That is, this is equal to alpha times 2x1 plus beta times 2x2 plus alpha times 3y1 plus beta times 3y2, this everything, comma alpha times 3x1 plus beta times 3x2 minus alpha times 4y1 minus beta times 4y2. Okay, so what I did is I shaped the positions of alpha and beta. So alpha and the scalars 2 and 3 4, so I change the positions. Okay, so what I do further now, I'll take alpha alpha together, beta beta together. So that is now further equal to alpha times 2x1 plus alpha times 3y1 plus beta times 2x2 plus beta times 3y2. Second component, alpha times 3x1 minus alpha times 4y1, okay, plus beta times 3x2 minus beta times 4y2. Okay, now what we will do is we'll take alpha and beta common. Okay, so this is further equal to alpha times 2x1 plus 3y1 plus beta times 2x2 plus 3y2, okay, comma alpha times 3x1 minus 4y1 plus beta times 3x2 minus 4y2. Okay, taken the common. Okay, alpha beta we have taken them common. Now we will split this vector into two components, one containing alpha and one containing beta. So that is equal to alpha times 2x1 plus 3y1, okay, comma alpha times 3x1 minus 4y1, okay, plus beta times 2x2 plus 3y2 plus comma, in fact, beta times 3x2 minus 4y2. Okay, so what we did, we have written it into addition of two vectors, one containing only alpha, one containing only beta. Now we'll take alpha outside from the first component and we'll take beta outside from the second component. Okay, so that is equal to alpha times 2x1 plus 3y1, comma 3x1 minus 4y1 plus beta times 2x2 plus 3y2, comma 3x2 minus 4y2. Okay, check out this what I did. So alpha multiplied by 2x1 plus 3y1, comma 3x1 minus 4y1 plus beta multiplied by 2x2 plus 3y2, comma 3x2 minus 4y2. So the alpha multiplied the bracket, that is in terms of t, I can write down that as, that is same as, same as alpha times t of x1 y1 plus beta times t of x2 y2. Okay, which is same as alpha times t of capital X plus beta times t of capital Y. Okay, all of you, see this. Okay, so now what we got? So therefore t of alpha x plus beta y equal to alpha times t of x plus beta times t of y. So therefore by our theorem, so you have to write down the statement of the theorem. This t is a linear transformation. Okay, this is the way we will end. Yeah. Okay, so this, and the further fourth and fifth exercises, similarly we have to do it the same way what I just now explained. Okay, you understood the proof of solution of this exercise 3?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, so the similarly you have to solve the fourth exercise and fifth exercise, and those who got the answer of the sixth exercise should send me the answer of the sixth exercise on my number.
Sir,
Okay, those who got the answer of the exercise number 6, send me the answer of this sixth exercise on my number. Okay, anyway, the today's lecture is in fact everything whatever I wanted to tell you is in fact over, but I'll tell you now what we are going to do in the tomorrow's lecture. So we have seen two definitions for a linear transformation. First is the traditional definition where it has two steps. Okay, and second is our theorem, which is in fact you know, clubbing these two conditions together and forming one condition. So two condition clubbed together and got one condition, that is our theorem. Okay, so if you see, we have two definitions to prove a linear transformation. Okay, and if anybody asks you to prove this, you know, show that this function is a linear transformation, then either you can use definition 1 or you can use definition number 2, whatever is comfortable to you. Okay, now this is the background of a linear transformation. We studied basics. Now further in the tomorrow's lecture, what we will do is, now we will find out what is called as kernel of a linear transformation and what is called as image of a linear transformation. So kernel and image, these are the two important things for a linear transformation. That definition and the theory behind it and exercises on finding out kernel image, that we will be doing this in the next coming lectures. Okay, so for today's lecture, this is the thing. So we'll stop here. Okay, so if anybody has any doubt regarding anything what we are understanding right now or previous what we did, you can always you know, text me and ask me your doubts. Send me the photographs of what you are not understanding. I'll definitely help you in understanding things. Okay, till then, so we'll stop here. Okay, so we'll meet tomorrow again 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock to 8:40 is our timing. So tomorrow we'll meet, and something new, we will do it now. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So bye.
Thank you, sir.